Plaintiff Courtney Yoli dated the defendant, but she claims during their relationship the defendant verbally and physically assaulted her and even gave her 2 black eyes. Courtney admits both she and the defendant were using cocaine during the relationship, and they eventually broke up, and she's suing him today for unreturned property. Defendant Percy Ferris denies that he ever used drugs and claims Courtney was such a severe drug addict that her newborn baby was taken away because he was born with drugs in his system. Percy claims Courtney's the one who abused him, and he even had her arrested for assault, and he's countersuing for unpaid rent, damaged property, and harassment.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, I met Mr. Ferris in January of 2008. I mean, within 2 weeks, moved in with each other at a friend's house where he was staying. At that time, I had just had my youngest son, and he was just telling me how much he loved me, and I just, at that time, wasn't ready for that kind of commitment.
No, that's not correct.
I left the home that they were residing in, went with my mom, and then later started staying with Mr. Watkins. Then in May of 2008, we met back up and started dating again. And then at that point, he had his own apartment. Stayed there quite often. October of 2008, he got the house that he is residing in now.
Well, you missed the part. When did you go back to him again?
No, I mean, he's my best friend.
You all never dated?
No. And then in January, it got really abusive. But in the meantime, he was constantly always accusing me of cheating on him.
That's not true.
He would
either,
call my
Your Honor.
kids
He's shaking his head, yeah.
Yeah, biracial comments. Because my kids are
so
mixed.
your kids are biracial.
Yes.
But why are
And
you
he
trying to deny the man? Come on up. She's trying to trying to deny the father of your children. State
he's
your
not
name.
the father. No, he's not
Oh,
the
he's
father.
not?
The father,
No.
He's my best
the father of the children used to live in the same building I live
Oh,
in.
it's not you.
No.
I'm sorry. When you said, I'm sorry. You said biracial, I thought, okay.
So he would call them the N-word. And
You're still working on it? Go ahead. I'm sorry. He would call the children
Yes,
the N-word.
even though everything that had happened, I still chose to stay with him.
See, people come in here and talk about how these folks are so racist. And it always confuses me because I'm an African-American judge. And whoever comes in here, they're under my authority.
Right.
So it just doesn't make sense that a racist white man would submit himself to the authority of a black man.
But he's also
Never makes sense to me. So you're not racist, right?
No, sir,
Because
I
if
am
you're
not.
racist, you wouldn't submit yourself under the authority of a black man.
I wouldn't care what color anybody is, Your
That's
Honor.
how I know.
Your Honor, I'm not making up. He's my witness. He has walked into conversations because in January, as it started getting, not the verbal was getting worse, but then it's got physical.
Tell me about that.
Well, we were both on drugs really hard at the time.
What type of drugs?
Cocaine and alcohol. But you'll see that I am
Crack?
No, powder.
Your Honor, that's not true either.
I went and admitted myself to Mary Haven for the reason to get
Let me
rid.
hear some
to get
background
away.
from you, sir.
Well, Your Honor, first of all, I met Courtney in the end of 2007. And we started talking. I met her at a bar. The next day, I found out that she had given birth to her son 30 days prior to that, and they had taken her son from her for having for alcohol and cocaine in her system, and she has never had custody of that child, as far as I know to this day. I was living with a friend of mine at the time, and she was just pretty much hanging around there, but while she was hanging around, all she would do was drink constantly, and finally, my friend told me that I needed to get rid of her, and that's exactly what I did. I worked every day from 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I did not know what was going on.
How about the abuse?
There was no abuse, Your Honor.
You never struck the woman?
Never struck her, not one time, ever.
That's a lie. I had 2 black eyes.
Anyhow, there was physical abuse on her part. That is correct. We ended up making her leave that place. I had moved out of the place, out of my friend's house, and moved in to an apartment in June.
Who all stayed there?
It was just me and my brother at the time. And a week later, I ended up being in the hospital. Anyways, I had to have surgery. I got out of the hospital. At this time, I was at the gas station one day and met up with her again. And she was telling me that she had quit her drinking and all of this stuff. And we ended up talking and getting back together. Well, it wasn't 3 or 4 weeks later, she's kicking holes in my wall, right back to her drinking again, doing the same thing over and over again. And it just got crazy. So we ended up splitting up again after that. And it wasn't a week later, she's begging me and calling me back, harassing me constantly on the telephone.
I've lost count, sir, of how many times.
The very last time that we were together,
The end of
right
March
before
of
she
this
went
year.
to jail, which was on 126 of 09.
What'd she go to jail for?
Assault and domestic violence.
Against you?
And I do have the report right here.
Against you?
Against me.
All right, let's see it. Ma'am, what do you want to say now? We have to get to the property that you're
That's what I'm
suing
getting
him
to, Your
about.
Honor, because when we were residing in the house together in October, like I said, the violence started in January. He beat me up pretty
Do
bad.
you have that?
No, I never put a report. I never pressed
Why
charges
not?
on him
Never happened.
because I was in love with him, and he.
Also,
He was in love with you, but he still pressed charges. Yes, sir.
I have police reports here where she had violated the protection order that I had against her. She
And that's-
harassed
yes,
me at
and that's
work.
exactly how
I got the police. She also assaulted my brother, which I have the police report for that too. If you would like
Your
to see
Honor,
those.
I went to jail. I went to jail originally in January for he falsely put a report on me and told the police he went to work before work. Told the police I strangled him in his sleep.
He was strangled, but he lived through
right.
it.
He went to. They came and arrested me that night. They came and arrested me
Now,
that
which
night.
one is that? That one, that one,
Your Honor, I
that
went to
one,
jail.
that one,
Thank
or
you.
that one?
Excuse
Which
There's
one?
61 pages here.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I got
No.
You got
61
another?
pages of where I've had to call the police on this woman.
That is crazy.
No, that's not
Ma'am, let's
crazy.
get to
It's
the
right
property
there,
you're
black and
suing
white.
for.
Okay, what I'm suing for, I did go to jail, yes. Then after that, after all this abuse that he claims happened to me, he still proposed to me on Valentine's Day. Then I left the home and the end of March, the beginning of April, went to Maryhaven, admitted myself in Maryhaven. In the mix of me going to Maryhaven, he met this woman here and moved her in a week. With all,
not true, Your Honor.
everything in that home belonged to me. The furniture, he's got all my kids' stuff. Their clothes, their beds, their cribs. He won't give me anything back. He wouldn't give me anything back. And while I was in Maryhaven trying to get help, the things that he did put out on the curb,
So you're saying, ma'am, he's withholding property and
with
he put,
the whole entire home, yes. And I have a police report right here stating that I went to the home with a U-Haul and the truck and all the witnesses. And he refused my belongings when I had the truck.
what do you say to prohibiting her from gaining access to her property and for putting her property out, sir?
She got her toiletries, her belongings and stuff when she got out of jail, and she was supposed to come back and get her stuff. I never heard from her forever. I have statements from my neighbors
I have
from the
the police
last time
report
that she
right here,
came
Your
back.
Honor.
Who set her things out?
I did. We set them right there on the curb, and she knew they
When
were there.
did you set them out?
It was probably in May.
Did she come back there?
Nope.
She never came.
Nope. Not
Got
while I
out
was
of
home.
jail and never bothered to come and get her things.
Actually, you're right. She did come back home.
He
She
picked
came-
me
Why you
up.
say
I
nope?
picked her-
He picked me
Whatever
up.
happened to that?
I
Whatever
picked her-
happened to nope?
Your Honor,
Nope.
I picked
Nope.
her up from jail and took her to get her car so she could get her belongings. And instead of coming to get her belongings, she went straight and got drunk. And then she come back and was raising crap, and I told her she couldn't come in the house because she did was tear up my house, kick holes in the wall, which I have pictures of right here. I have
That
statements
was
from.
before she went to jail, sir.
Oh yes.
All right, and so that's why you prohibited her from getting her things.
No, not from getting her things. I told her she could have her things, but she would never come around to get her
How could
things.
she get them without coming in?
She had a key, and I wasn't home.
If you didn't want her to come in when you were there, you certainly wouldn't want her to come in when you weren't.
Well, she would never show up when I was there.
Sir, you've given me 3 different stories. Let me see your items, ma'am.
Here's
that you're suing
the
for.
police evidence. Here's all the statements, witness statements. This is
You were unable to get your clothes.
clothes. I've got some of my clothes, yes. But clothes, my boys' clothes, the bed, my baby's,
No, well, let's stick with clothes. You're saying you left $8,000 worth of clothes there.
between all three of us.
I'm not giving you $8,000. Here you were, admitted dope fiend and alcoholic, moving from pillar to post, and you think you're gonna come in here and give me something and say, yeah, I took some clothes, but I left 8,000 of it behind. Who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? Your counterclaim,
Okay,
$5,000 for
Your
rent,
Honor.
damaged property, and harassment.
Yes, sir. On the rent, everybody was to pay $100 a week. Me, my brother, and her.
Whose place was it?
It was my place, and I have a copy of the lease right here. And she was never on it. She was pretty much not there.
Ma'am,
she
did
was there
you
from
agree to pay
September
$100
I didn't have a job.
week?
I didn't have a job.
All right.
She did agree to
What's
that.
your property, damaged property for?
Damaged property. I have holes in my walls. I have an estimate right here. Here's the estimate. Here's the pictures from all the damage in the whole entire house.
And you're alleging she did this?
She did all
Why?
of that, and it is in the
Why?
police reports.
Why did she do all
Because
this?
she was always drunk and mad because I wouldn't give her alcohol.
All right, I've heard enough, sir. I'm going to grant you your repairs. I believe she did all this damage based on these police reports, which include officers saying they observed a lot of the damage. I'm not going to grant you any rent. You haven't proven to me that your woman agreed to pay rent under the threat of a lawsuit. This was your woman. You all were in love. Now, $2,800 is your judgment for the repairs. And ma'am, I am going to grant you some of your property. However, you grabbed some clothes, as you said. Therefore, I'm going to grant you a nominal amount, ma'am. $2,800 is your judgment. So, both of you have a good day. I hope you've cleaned up your life, and I hope this teaches you a lesson that when you live a destructive alcohol and drug addicted life, this is what happens to both parties. Have a good day.
She was also going places to buy, sleeping with people for oxycodone, and she was going to sell those too.
You provided
She
all
also
the
got
cocaine.
fired from her job numerous times for drinking on the job.
Oh, that's what happened, right? I never was fired from a job for alcohol. He's the one that snorts cocaine, and then he sells it, and then he takes the top of it, smithers some out of it, and crushes aspirin to take from people.
She's clearly delusional.